What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Botch Bots and Share Shots, powered by Last Word on Sports. I am your host, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the Will Gray, and joining me today is NWA wrestling star. He is big, he is strong, he is big, strong Mims. Mims, welcome back. How are you, sir? How's your Wednesday going?
I'm doing good. Besides allergies, what the hell is going on with this weather, man? It's killing my allergies. So I'm gonna sound a little bit like stuffy, wuffy, whatever. Uh, I'm all the way big. I'm all the way strong. I'm still all the way Mims. No matter the stuffy nose, we're good. We're good.
But these Southeast allergies, all of them, they're also big. They're also strong because I'd never had allergies until I got into my mid 30s. And then it was just like all of them at once. And now I feel like I constantly in the spring and the fall, every day wake up with like a stuffy nose every day. It's like
Oh yeah,
the joys of getting old, as they say.
that was
So
me from the age of like 16, turning it into crusty sleeves every time it gets close to my birthday. So anytime it gets close to spring, I'm feeling it. Then summer, absolutely feeling it. Getting close to the winter, it's flu season on top of that. It's terrible. It's just the worst. Like, and it only gets worse every year as it goes on. I always get those sinus infections. It goes crazy. I may be big and strong, but these allergies, these seasonal allergies, bigger, stronger.
all right, let's dive right into it. You and I, the first go around, you can go back and check us out on Spotify and YouTube. We had Mims' origin story, where he came from, what he's been up to. Now what we're going to talk about is the here and now in your wrestling career and what you're going on. Recently on NWA Power, you've had a big change. Magnum Muscle is kind of on the split. You've paired with BLK Jeez. You're kind of betting on the church's money, as it were. You said in a recent promo, the missing piece. Jesus said you guys are taking over NWA. What's that going on right now? And how does that feel to kind of evolve in your career and be here and now with you and BLK Jeez and the church?
Well, see, something that I've always heard in the NWA locker room, just a little bit of talk from some of the vets and some of the other people around, they said that what I lacked, and I guess maybe that was the goal, whenever me and Dak got together and formed Magnum Muscle, was to find focus. And I thought, I found that, and I guess it was a little bit of like that false focus, because I had that. I get that NWA television title that I've been looking for, that I've been trying to grab for almost 2 years at that point. And then you kind of see me let that fall to the wayside. And I think that's where I didn't really have the focus that I needed. I didn't have that focus that I needed to become a world champion. I barely had enough to get to that point of becoming a world television champion, but getting there is just one part of the journey. You have to get there, you have to keep it, you have to continue to progress further. And what I was stuck in was the same mindset that left me unsuccessful. And so that's where I ended up, yeah, I guess, handing the title over. Let's not say that I lost. Let's not use a dirty word like that. But where I'm at now, I brought in some help that begrudgingly I needed. Hey, at one point he was on the other side of the ring for me, but I thought, who's the person that can bring me to what's the most important thing to me, which is everything I want. If I want that television title back, if I want the national championship to be mine for the very first time, if I want the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, I can't just do that on my own as I am. I'm humble enough to say that I just need just an eensy bit of help. Who better than somebody who has guided two different men to an NWA World Heavyweight Championship? It sounds like he's probably the best person in the entire company to come to for just a little bit of help, just a little bit of focus. And that's all I lack. I have all the tools that it takes to be a world champion, and somebody who's molded two world champions can mold a third. I mean, they say the third time's a charm. Now, obviously, we've seen the reign that Tyrus has had. We've seen the reign that is currently going on with EC3. Now, these are two great, very long reigns here. Think about me as the third person to step in under BLK Jeez's watch and become a champion. And also something that this is the thing that's going to be fantastic whenever I finally achieve this, because I mean, let's let's call things what they are. Let's look at history. Let's understand exactly where this is going. It's an inevitable thing that I will be world heavyweight champion. We already know that's going to happen. It's the same setup. We know what's happening here. I will be the very first homegrown NWA talent. No former anything else. I have never, no. I am NWA through and through. I am their first homegrown talent that will be NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Nobody else is going to do that before me. No former WWE guys, no former TNA guys, no former ROH guys, no former AEW guys. No, it's just a then, now, and forever NWA guy holding the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and then leading into the future. And I think that's something that's great. I think that's something that speaks a lot to the genius of Sir William Patrick Corgan, to put me on a trajectory, to give me a chance to I guess, kind of let the stars align a little bit. You know, he doesn't, but contrary to popular belief, you know, he may put a few things here and there together, book a few matches, whatnot, but we get to do all the thinking. We get to put those pieces together. We get to make the magic happen. And me calling up Black Jeez, that's on me. That's this magic up here. And that same magic, that's going to turn into an NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I can already feel it. I can already taste it.
You perfect segue. I like it. The guest always makes it easy for me when you can set it up for me right there. You brought his name up, William Patrick Corgan. He is quite literally a rock star. He has taken the NWA since purchasing it back in 2019, I believe. I'll double check that. I think that's when it happened. But over the last 4 or 5 years, he's built it back up. The TV deal with CW. We're going to get into Adventures in Carneyland here in a second. But Billy Corgan's doing a great job of putting a lot of eyes on the product. What's it like literally working for a rock star right now in the NWA?
You know what? The funny thing is, I like to think that it makes me a little bit of a rock star myself, you know, by proxy, by the transitive property. I work for a rock star. I must be a rock star, you know, that kind of thing. Honestly, it's something that's kind of special to me because he knows that he's kind of conquered the music business. I mean, you can go online right now and find any of his social medias and see him selling out concerts around the world, selling out concerts in the US. And this is for a band that's been making music before I was even born. I'm just a few years younger than this band's debut whenever they were making hit records, and they're still doing that to this day. So, you know, it's kind of natural to see that he's going to take that genius, that mental acumen that he has for music. He's going to bring it over to professional wrestling. I mean, let's be honest. He brought me in. And that's kind of one of the best decisions you can make. That's what other companies that are in the professional wrestling world, they didn't get in on this train early like he did. So that's something that he saw. That's that same genius I've been talking about. That's on display right there. So, you know, it's honestly an incredible and humbling experience to work for one of the biggest rock stars on the planet, obviously. And then to bring in me as a future biggest wrestling star on the planet. It makes sense. It feels like home. This is why I'm here in the NWA. This is why I signed on the dotted line oh so many moons ago to be a part of the NWA, and why I still want to stay here in the NWA. Why I want to be the champion of the NWA. I want to do Billy Corgan a favor. I want to do William Patrick Corgan a favor here by proving him right. So he's talked about before, you know, he said, oh, well, you know, when it comes to rock music and when it comes to what I want to do and when it comes to my art, a lot of people have told me it has to be this way, it has to be that way. And I said, no, I'm going to do it my way. And guess what? He was proven right. I mean, the millions of records sold, the millions of tickets sold, the very long and very award field career, you know, still making music to this day that's still touching the people, you know, that proves his point that he's had all along that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a genius. I got this. And how does he do that in professional wrestling? Now, he's already done that with the NWA. This is very successful, where people said that we were those three letters, they said they were worthless. Whenever he bought them back in, I think if I'm correct, 2017, they said, oh, you just bought 3 worthless letters. And you guys have all heard that soundbite before. But no, We have brought it to prominence here in this day and age, and we're only continuing to build that. Like you already talked about the CW deal, there's more in front of us now. We are hotter than we've ever been. We're getting more opportunities after opportunities after opportunities to show exactly what we have, and what we have here is fantastic talent. We have a fantastic locker room that all they need is time and space to grow, time and space to shine, and to show that Billy Corgan was right again, that he's the genius that he says he is, that he has that vision, that he's going to go ahead and show everybody else this is coming to bear fruit. This tree is coming to bear fruit, and the most important fruit of them all is me. It's me.
So there was a lot of chatter last year after Samhain going into the CW deal. There was a few spots that, you know, may have it garnered some heat, as the boys might say. Going
It
into
blew him away. It blew him away.
It blew him away. It's clever. I love that. Going into this year, Samhain's coming up. 76 is coming up. Power's killing it every week on Tuesdays on the CW. What does it feel like for the boys in the locker room and the girls in the locker room and all the wrestlers and all the minds that are back there for the NWA right now, knowing that even after last year, the ripples that were caused, you guys are going, okay, we're still here. We're still bigger. We're faster. We're stronger. How's that feel for you guys in the locker room coming into 2024?
Well, see, the thing was, that was another stroke of genius by Billy Corgan. It got people talking. People had all types of ideas what was going on behind the scenes. They knew this and they knew that. You had the dirt sheets out here reporting this, reporting that. This person isn't happy. This person is. This person likes that. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. You know, it got people to talk. And it only helped us further to continue to take that buzz and get eyes on the product, get eyes on what we're doing here to show them that this is some of the best wrestling on the planet. And I mean, hey, you know, people thought they had us figured out, and we've continued to prove them wrong. We've continued to, what is it? I think the phrase was, and I've been hearing it for years, ever since the beginning of Power, since 2019, we under promise and over deliver. And I think that's something we're still going to continue to do. We have Selwyn coming up. It's going to be another event that's going to knock people's socks off the same way that it did last year, for whatever way we might do it. You never know what we might pull out this time. I mean, you literally have the devil himself, Father James Mitchell, there, and his creatures, or whatever they are. You know, they kind of stole the show there, but you never know what I might do. You never know what anybody else could do at that show. And I mean, if anything, we can still focus on the fact that I'm still going to take over the NWA with Black Jeez by my side. We're talking about the people that were last year's head of the conversation. Where am I at? You know, Selwyn can be spooky for James Mitchell and his creature gang or whatever they are. But let's talk about me. I can be kind of scary myself. I can do something a little bit spooky. I can be the center of attention. And that might exactly be what's going to happen at Selwyn too. You know, they can be on the poster all day, but we still know who the star is. It's still me. I still have the opportunities to make those changes and take over the NWA, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. Now, when it comes to the people that are in the locker room here, we are still hopeful, because of the fact that we have plenty behind us to back us up. We have seen people count us out time after time, time after time. And what do? We continue to show off that we have the best talent around. We can have the best matches around. We can have the best promos around. We can have the best stories around. We can have the best everything around. And all people are going to do is still talk. They can talk negatively at first. They watch a few episodes. That negative talk goes out the window, because they see what we're providing. What we're providing is greatness, simply put.
So now I'm just going to go ahead and say another stroke of genius, because I'm an old school guy at heart. We talked about it in the first time we talked, growing up at the tail end for me in the early 90s into the 80s. I grew up at the tail end of the NWA days. So to see it coming back, it makes my old school heart happy. You guys not only are bringing back literally, but also not figuratively, but also literally, the NWA back to the territories between Joe Kazana Promotions Southeast, Exodus Pro, right now as an NWA star and an independent wrestling star. What's it feel like having the NWA help elevate the indies again, to have the NWA territories be in full function again?
I think it's a great thing, honestly. I mean, when it comes to professional wrestling as a whole, this is something that we've had a few different points where professional wrestling has dipped in popularity, or it's dipped in intensity, is dipped in interesting things. You know, let's call a spade a spade. You know, I never like to talk negatively about any other promotion or anybody else in the wrestling world or whatnot. You know, I think this is one of the best things that could happen for pro wrestling to help along in a resurgence that we've needed for a little while. I mean, the pandemic, it hit us pretty hard for professional wrestling, and that was one way that a lot of people kind of gathered around to, you know, kind of get back to a normal life. And we're still building on what professional wrestling is 4 years after that pandemic had started, you know, and we're at a period that wrestling's extremely hot. People are seeing this in the mainstream. We're continuing to build it up in a lot of ways that may be brought to you by the 2010s, where we had the indies being a big part of that renaissance, a big part of that boom. And I think NWA is doing something great here by trying to bring back a classic. I mean, the territories existed for a reason. That system worked so long for a reason, and there's no reason they can't come back. I know that, I'm sure whenever Billy came up with the idea ever so long ago. I mean, I don't know if people remember originally him talking about a 20-year plan, and this is probably a big centerpiece of that 20-year plan. You know, he's somebody that when he thinks of a concept, he doesn't think of how it's going to fail. He doesn't think of how it's going to work. Let other people talk about that. Let other people say, oh, this has never worked. This is going to fail. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. His job is just to make it happen. Once he thinks it up, he makes it happen. And he's continuing to do that here with the territory system. I think it's a great thing, not only for the NWA and for our stars that can go out there and kind of, you know, flex a little bit. Say, hey, I'm an NWA superstar and I'm coming out to your town, wherever that's at. Hey, we have this territory, this promotion right here that we can show you guys in this area. This is exactly what NWA is all about. This is a small taste of it. And the people that are local to this area that can come out and see just a small taste of what the NWA is giving out to you guys, you know, we can have our best local guys come up against NWA superstars and see how they stack up. And like, I like to think that iron sharpens iron. You know, it's an old phrase, but it's absolutely true. You can only get better in the ring and in life kind of by getting your ass whooped. You can only get better by being around people who are better than you. So I think what this is going to do, it's not only going to enrich the NWA and spread the good word, it's also going to make people on the independents step their game up. These are going to be guys that are going to be going from being indie stars to being NWA superstars. The sky is absolutely the limit. And when we make that reach out there to the indies and we work with them, we bring all of professional wrestling up. It is good for everyone. And it's something that I've been excited about since I've heard about the idea. Seeing it implemented so well is fantastic. We have multiple territories already. Territories I've been to so far. Exodus Pro is one of the first territories I was a part of them debuting and building that up. I was also a part of NWA JCP. I haven't been a part of NWA Crossfire just yet. That might just happen. You never know, and I'll be coming over there too. In War Wrestling League, coming into Fight the World Wrestling, NWA Chicago that I was also a part of, starting that promotion too. There are so many promotions we're going to have under our belt, under the same umbrella of the territory system, and bringing even more people into the fold, getting new talent to come in, show their stuff, teaching everybody on both sides, from the NWA to the indies, something new, something that can make them better, and earning everybody the skills we need to continue to bring professional wrestling up. We can't just have the top companies with a WWE or an AEW, the bigger companies with the bigger money. We can't just have them leading the way. We also have to do our part as another major promotion to continue to enhance the one thing we all love, the one thing we all have in common, no matter how much money you're talking about, no matter what name you attach to it, whatever 3 letters you're talking about, we all love professional wrestling. So this is something only made out of a serious, deep, passionate love for professional wrestling. And anybody who is a professional wrestler, anybody who has a love for professional wrestling, because you can't be a wrestler and not love pro wrestling, because it's not fun. It don't feel good. It's fun, but it don't feel good. You cannot see this happening, see this like implemented, and not clap your hands for it. Because again, we all love this, and this is a labor of love. So everyone, I can speak for everyone fully, and I think I can speak across the entire wrestling industry. This is big. This is a big deal, and I absolutely love it. So do we all.
Now, this question, I don't want to bring up a sore subject. You're not in the Crockett Cup this year. You and Dak had a great run last year in it. You guys you've had your cup of coffee in the Crockett Cup. I want a prediction from you. You've got the Immortals versus the current tag team champions BFT. You have the reigning Crockett Cup champions Knox and Murdoch versus the Southern Six. You got any ideas or picks for me?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit salty because me and Jeez, unfortunately, we got together a little bit after the qualifying rounds of the Crockett Cup tournament, so we don't get to participate this year. Doesn't feel the best. But, you know, you can't go in there by yourself. You need to be a tag team. You can't go in there as a one-man army. Trust me, I tried. But if I had to predict, I would say it seems unsafe to bet against the tag team champions. They literally have the highest prize in all of professional wrestling when it comes to being a tag team. So to say that the tag team champions are not going to win at all is something that I feel like is an unsafe bet. But with that same thing said, the team that knocked us out last year and went on to win the cup also have a pretty good chance to repeat because they also were in a tournament with the current world tag team champions at the time, and they happened to still win the entire tournament. So I am going to do, I guess, I'm going to split the middle because both of those are safe bets. I would say it still has to be BFT. I think last year things happened. Maybe I'm a little salty about losing, but then again, I didn't have the best partner in the world. So I'm going to say BFT. They have the tag team championships now. They've been giving Knox and Murdoch a run for their money and winning and winning and winning. It is hard to see them not going into the same situation and basically do what they've been doing most of this year, and that is beating the last Crockett Cup winners at every turn and every opportunity. So BFT is my pick. At least that can be something that I win instead of the Crockett Cup like last year where we lost. At least I can win this bet here and say that BFT are going to win. It feels like a safe bet. It feels like the right bet. You know what? BFT. Like I said, BFT.
You can't go wrong by putting the money on the champs, right? That seems like a solid bet. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Mims, we're ready to land the plane. But before we go, even NWA superstars have to answer 5 random questions. I've got 5 fresh ones queued up for you. You didn't answer these. These are fresh and ready. I got them. Let's go. Question number 1. Are you a pickle person? Do you like pickles?
Absolutely. I think people who don't like pickles are weird. My best friend in the entire world, my former tag team partner, I love this man till the day that I die. Old Migs, if you're that much of an NWA nerd, hates pickles. Weirdest thing ever. You put pickles on his burger, he will just not eat the entire burger. You could go ahead and just pick those off. Let's not be children. Just pick it off if you don't like it. No, hates pickles. That's weird. Love pickles. Give me a pickle all day. Hot pickle, cold pickle, spicy pickle, sweet pickle. They're pickles. Give me them pickles.
Question number 2. What was your favorite childhood movie?
Ooh, boy. That is hard. Favorite childhood movie, because I've seen almost every movie in my childhood I had to see multiple times. Man. I'm going to feel really bad about this because I love the series, but I know this movie is absolute trash. It is garbage, but it still works on me. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That is, I know it's bad, but it has all the characters I like in it. It had Jackson. It had all these other cool characters. I like it. It's bad. Don't judge me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially when it's like your personal. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got some, and if it's going to be a guilty pleasure, why not be that one, right?
Exactly.
Question number 3: who's the musical artist you're listening to the most right now?
It has to be let's see. Who is the person I am listening to the most right now? Ah, man. I've been kind of getting wide ranged about it. I've been diving a bit more into Smashing Pumpkins music just because of the fact that I have so much to catch up on. And somebody very special in my life, they are such a big fan of Billy. And they were telling me, because we became friends literally over this during this time, they were like, "You don't know his whole discography? Let me show it to you. I'm obsessed with it." So I've been slowly getting into a little bit more Smashing Pumpkins or whatnot, finding my favorite things here and there. I think some of more of the modern stuff is some of my favorites, like Witch is probably my absolutely favorite Smashing Pumpkin song. It was from the first time I heard it. And so I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure. I don't know if that's everybody's favorite. It's mine. It's not like, the classics that everybody talks about, like, Tonight Tonight or anything like that, or like I think it was like Butterfly Wings. Yeah, it's not like those classics that everybody picks. But I would say, to not give the brown nose answer, I'm a really, really, really big Pharrell Williams fan. I love NERD. I am still playing their albums constantly because they always speak to me. I think the first album I ever heard was Seeing Sounds, and it still gets played today. Today.
All right. Question number 4. I'm going to stick with music this time, but I'm going to put you on the spot. It's one of the biggest music, like some of the biggest music news we've had in a long time. Who do you got? Kendrick or Drake?
Oh, Kendrick. No question. Kendrick, absolutely. I was a really big Drake fan when he started catching popularity in 2009. So Far Gone was a classic. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, he made Houston Atlanta Vegas. And I'm sorry, that song is really good. It still slaps to this day. But Kendrick Lamar, that man has made almost nothing but classics. I had to get talked into Kendrick Lamar because I'm not gonna lie. Out of everybody in Black Hippie, I was a J-Rock fan first and foremost, and I heard Kendrick on Money Trees, and I was like, yeah, I mean that was good, but it's J-Rock's song. I'm worried about J-Rock, and I got hooked when I heard Section 80. After that, Kendrick can do no wrong. He can't make a bad song. It just doesn't. No, it's Kendrick Lamar. It's always Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry.
All right. Question number 5. What was the last TV show you binge watched?
Last TV show I binge watched. Are we talking shows I rewatched, or are we talking shows like brand new?
Oh, it could be a rewatch. It can absolutely be a rewatch.
I know it's gonna be hard to see. You can't really see Chris Pratt right there on my arm, but I am actually wearing a Parks and Rec shirt. So in the back of it, it's gonna actually because I can have you see it. I'm sitting on the counter in my kitchen. I'm gonna go to my guest bathroom here. And I think you guys have to see if I can line this up correctly and get my hair out of the way somehow.
A mouse rat shirt? That is awesome.
Yes, it is a Mouse Rat Pawnee World Tour T-shirt. That same special friend that I have or whatnot. She kind of bought me that shirt. She bought me that shirt because. As a reward for listening to an entire Smashing Pumpkins album a few times in one day to really sink it in, she was like, "Yeah, I'll get you something nice." So she got me a Mouse Rat shirt because I think I was still binging Parks and Rec at that point. I think I think the episode that I was at that time was it was probably the second appearance of Lil Sebastian. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Little Sebastian.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I would have not expected you at all to stand up to show me you were wearing a T-shirt for the TV show you were going to bring up. And I love that because I'm an Office fan, and I've asked a question a lot of times in the 5 Random, Office or Parks and Rec, because I'm an Office guy. So I respect Parks and Rec, but The Office is always going to be special in my heart. So
I'm just a big Amy Poehler fan. She can be in literally anything and everything. It could just be watching Amy Poehler like watch paint dry, and I'm probably gonna watch it.
It's a hit. 10 times out of 10 will put butts in seats, right?
Exactly. This butt's gonna be in the seat.
All right, Mims. This is the part of the episode where I shut up. I'm gonna let you plug everything you want to put over and tell us what you got coming up.
So just the same old NWA things, but even for me, same old Mim stuff. So any of my socials, I think now I have an X account. I didn't have an X account the last time, so that's really Mims or either really underscore Mims. I try to make it really underscore Mims on everything. Same thing on Xbox. I'm still really Mims or really underscore Mims. The same thing with my Instagram, which is the main social media that I use, really underscore Mims, because it's really me. And for some reason, people don't think that's really my name. I'm really Matthew Mims. That is my actual name. But outside of that, when it comes to things that are coming up, I'm taking a little bit of a break right now. So I'm trying to train up. I'm trying to change a few things. I'm trying to add some new things to Big Strong Mims to make him bigger, to make him stronger, to make him ready for the next event for the NWA, which is going to be on August 31st, if I remember correctly. And that's NWA 76. That's going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at what we used to call the ECW Arena. I think now it's called the 2300 Arena. So I want to bring something big. I want to bring something new. I want to bring something Mims to NWA 76 because that's going to start off a new year. That's going to start off a new year for the NWA. We're going from 76. We're going to year 77. That's what we're building up to. And I want to start building at that show. I want to start building the NWA Takeover that I'm going to orchestrate with BLK Jeez. And if I remember correctly, that's BLK Jeez's hometown right there. So I think there's going to be something possibly pretty special for you boys, BLK Jeez and Big Strong Mims. But after that, if you haven't already looked on NWALiveEvents.com, please do that because you'll see that we have a whole swath of things coming up. We should probably have a show almost every single month, so you never know what's going to happen. Right now, Mr. Corgan is on a world tour, but he's going to be back from that world tour in the States, continue the rest of that tour. And whenever he's back in the States, you never know what's going to happen with the NWA. Right now, we're waiting until he comes back, but the plans are still coming. The wheels are still turning. We got Selwyn coming up. That's going to be in Sarasota, Florida. That's going to be in October. That's Selwyn too. You never know what could happen. The Father James Mitchell and his creatures are still going to be there, but also Big Strong Mims and BLK Jeez are going to be there. And then also, hey, if you didn't make it out to Dothan, Alabama the last time we were there, we are coming back for Looks That Kill. That should be either on December 12th or December 17th. Hey, this big, strong brain sometimes forgets a few things, but that is going to be the Looks That Kill. It's going to be a brand new signature live event that we're going to have, and it's going to be fantastic. If you haven't seen it already, go on NWA's socials. You can see the poster that has me on it because that's the best one. And you'll be able to see something great in Dothan, Alabama. Last time we went to Dothan, Alabama, they turned up in a really big way. We had a large, extremely crazy crowd that was all the way crazy about NWA professional wrestling. And I guarantee you this time that crowd is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times even bigger. So that is everything on the slate right now. I'm sure if you want to know more, if you want to see some new stuff coming up, and there's going to be some new announcements coming up very, very soon for what I'm doing, check out my socials. Check out NWA's socials at NWA on almost pretty much everything you can get at somebody on. At really underscore Mims on everything you can get at me on. And you'll find the new news. You'll find everything that's big and strong with me. It's the right thing to do.
Mims, I really appreciate you stopping by this evening and chat about some wrestling with me, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Always. I want to take a second to remind you, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple at Botchbots and Chair Shots, and if you found us through lastwordonsports.com, we want to say thank you for listening there, as always. And for the big, strong Matt Mims, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.